Belgorod or Bryansk area, wherever, have bomb shelters that aren't flooded or that work, or that they might need to be evacuated. The Kremlin doesn't really care. Really doesn't care. The Kremlin is only interested
Okay,
in
YouTube stream
how
is up.
something impacts regime security. Right? So the reason we're skeptical of false flag hypothesis is not that because the Kremlin isn't interested in, is very averse to Russian suffering, not at all. It's rather that with something like the, for example, Kremlin drone attack, right? If this were to be a false flag story, the most plausible false flag story would actually be much more destructive. The sort of thing the regime is capable of is blowing up a hotel or a train station with many casualties, or an airport, right? So when we are dismissing the plausibility of false flag explanations, the last thing we're saying is that the Kremlin isn't capable of deliberately killing its own citizens.
True.
Now, since Feb 2022, the Kremlin has been balancing two contradictory impulses that we all know about, particularly from videos on the main channel. On the one hand, the Kremlin wishes to politicize what we call the depoliticized blob in the middle, 50+% of the Russian population. On the other hand, the Kremlin views regime stability as predicated on most Russians remaining on the couch, remaining depoliticized. And that's one of the problems that, in particular, we've discussed in connection with mobilization, right? Putin needs younger Russian men on the front, but he also needs them on the couch. Now, with each Ukrainian attack on Russian territory, and these will magnify, this attack on Moscow is going to be outdone in scale very soon by other attacks. With each Ukrainian attack on Russian territory, the Kremlin will weigh whether to take it as an opportunity to politicize the population or whether to play it down. So far, they've been playing it down, and there are plenty of don't look up memes on the internet that fairly capture the Kremlin's response. Now, how are Muscovites reacting to this? Now, here's
Muscovites.
The level of depoliticization of most Russian citizens is unfathomable, and we're always likely to underestimate it. And so it's important to understand that this is a particular kind of political pathology. It's not sort of lack of information, right? So Russians cannot be woken up to the war, to the horrors of the war in Ukraine, and to the consequences of the war for Russia. Russians cannot be woken up to that by seeing a few drones. Why not? Because their problem isn't lack of information. Their problem isn't that they haven't spent enough time thinking, oh, is this really kind of what's happening? Oh, I didn't know. Now I know. No, the problem is denial and evasion. Right? And in fact, it's partly because Russians know all too well what their government has done in Ukraine that there is so much denial and evasion. Because facing it would require them to recognize that their entire arrangement with politics, their entire enterprise of semi-voluntarily outsourcing politics to the Kremlin has ended in catastrophe. And it's that incapacity.
I said this before, but again, as soon as Russia is going to obviously start losing, that even the biggest coper in Russia it cannot even cope with it, they will start turning on the government. They will, because they understand what kind of atrocities they did, and their only path to salvation is victory. That will never happen. As soon as they're gonna start losing, they will understand that they will have to face the consequences, and they will start blaming, pointing the finger. It's gonna happen.
Capacity to face the catastrophe of the political arrangement which they hope would work out for them. Right? That is the source of this inability to wake up politically. It's not, oh, I don't know, I haven't paid attention. Big difference. So my own assessment is what we've seen today is not enough to wake depoliticized Muscovites up, especially in a situation.
It's not the right thing.
Any casualties.
They will just blame the government and remove responsibility from themselves.
So you will, if you could eavesdrop, I can guarantee you will hear a lot of conversations in Moscow today. How was your day? Yeah, okay. What about you? Yeah. Oh, we forgot to feed the cat. Oh, by the way, maybe the cat is having some digestive issues. I don't know if he needs to go to the vet or not. Have you seen the drones? Have you heard about the drones? Yeah, probably too early to tell what it means. So, yeah, but yeah, a few drones around, huh? Mm-hmm. That is what would be happening. And to us, it's extraordinary. It's like, come on, look up. That is not normal. Figure out why that is happening. What has your government done to make this happen above your head? It's extraordinary. Well, not everything is so definite. Yeah, I mean, they're there, but probably, they might not be there tomorrow. So it's, we're going to have to see how it goes, really. And, the propaganda TV is saying that it's all under control. Mr. Putin looks calm. So, yeah. And the government will gaslight Russians, is already gaslighting Muscovites about how this is nothing to particularly notice with an excess of concern. Now, a quick remark by me in my capacity, in my professional capacity as a moral philosopher. Now, I've noticed some Russian anti-war, anti-Putin oppositional commentators saying, it's never justifiable to attack cities whereby you are directly or indirectly targeting civilian buildings. We're going to explain why that is an unhealthy thing to say. I've also seen many Western commentators talking about how floating drones over Moscow is morally justified because Ukraine is fighting against a defensive war against a ghastly invader.
It's not either, okay? It's not morally justified. It is justified. It's not morally justified. It is just justified, okay? They do it to our cities. There's a tactic of like eye for an eye, basically, and it's to deter. It's to deter them from. What's the difference? There's a thing that you can do that some people may believe is immoral, but it is absolutely justified. When you do something morally justified, then I guess there couldn't be any questions there. I don't know. No.
And as I put it on Twitter,
maybe I mean like not justified but understandable, or
both
like
views, right?
I don't know.
The Russian opposition view that it's never good to attack cities, and the Western commentator view that the drone attack is ethical. Both views are an ethical misunderstanding of war. The drone attacks
He winked
on
at
Moscow
me.
are neither.
Was there ever a war that cities were not attacked? New come true.
The good nor bad, I say. They are real. They are real because you don't get to bomb and terrorize a country for 15 months and expect that this is not going to come back at you. Any moral assessment of Ukraine's drone attack on Moscow as morally proportionate or morally disproportionate is an ethical misunderstanding of war. Ukraine is not an impartial, dematerialized moral court, but an innocent victim of a brutal invasion fighting a defensive and existential war. At some point on the Tiny Philosophy channel I'll say a little bit more about this. But for now, we're going to sign off. And I appreciate that I didn't manage to share a video on the main channel about this today. So what I'm going to do is, only for a short 30-minute slice, I'm going to jump onto a live later on today on this channel, on the chat channel.
Okay. Some comments that I missed from YouTube says, isn't he Russian? He was born in Russia. He lived in London for 20 years about. I don't think he's like a Russian anymore, you could say. Definitely doesn't think as a Russian, you know? Man, I wanted to watch this video, okay? I'm becoming a big fan of this guy. I'll do my best to translate this. So this is the historian Ukrainian blogger that I was talking about. Let's just give me a second. Let me turn down the fucking laptop blazing fucking hot air out of it. Let's go to silent mode. Let's calm down a little bit. Show auto-translated CC. I don't know if it's gonna work though. Oh, on top of it too? Okay. Cute girls.
Как ваша жизнь?
How is your life?
Замечательно, что у вас
I'm doing
такая
alright.
жизнь интересная.
Why are you so fucking concerned? Okay, I'm sorry. He doesn't say fucking. Why are you so concerned with my life?
Да просто
Just,
общаемся.
you know, we just talk on what subjects?
Да на разные, типа
Different
спрашиваем у людей,
ones.
как
We
дела,
ask people
поднимаем
how they
настроение.
Я
do, try
понял, вы для
to
этого какую
cheer
страну
them up.
выбрали?
Which country did you select in the software
Ну,
for that?
Украину поддержать,
Ukraine,
как бы
to
мы
support
без
Ukraine?
негатива.
Поддерживаем,
We're
послушаем
without
вашу
negative.
поддержку.
Okay, support me. I'm listening. Support me.
А вы с Украины?
Are you from
Я из
Ukraine?
Украины,
Yes, I'm
слушаю
from
вашу
Ukraine.
поддержку.
I'm listening to your support.
Как вы там
How are you doing?
на
Держимся,
We're
самом...
holding on,
воюем.
fighting,
А у вас прям, ну, все серьезно,
and
да?
it's all serious, right?
Прям максимально.
Вы
Like
за
full
новостями
on.
как бы следите?
Do you? Yeah, the translation is AIDS. Do you follow the news at all?
Ну,
Мы
мы
мало
следим.
верим.
Well,
потому
yeah,
что
we
много
follow, but
фейков,
we don't
как
believe it.
бы.
There's a lot of
Верите,
fakes.
что идут
What do you not
широкомасштабные
believe? That there's a
боевые
full-scale war is happening now?
Что народ между собой
That
настолько враждует.
people are
Да.
Какой
so
народ
angry
враждует
between
между
each
собой?
other. What people are angry?
Россия с Украиной.
Ну, вот говорят,
Russia and
да, то,
Ukraine,
что русские
they're
приходят,
saying that
убивают
Russians are
мирных, ну,
going
людей,
in
как
and
бы.
killing
Да,
civilians.
война
Yeah,
идет.
that's
Это
right. There's
В
war.
Изюме, да,
In
в
Izum,
Буче,
yes. In
в
Bucha.
Мариуполе.
In Mariupol.
Города
Yes,
уничтожают.
they're destroying cities.
А как вы относитесь
How do
Вчера в
you...
Запорожье
Yesterday in
в жилой
Zaporizhia,
комплекс
they
прилетел
hit
жилые дома.
their house.
Обалдеть. Как вы
Wow.
относитесь к
How
вот
do
недавно
you...
прошедшему референдуму?
Это дрифт.
How do you... What are your thoughts on the referendum that happened recently? So this is the October, so she's talking about probably Kherson referendum. I want you to notice how they're joining this conversation and how they're gonna leave this conversation, okay?
Это не референдум.
This is not a
Это не
referendum.
имеет никакого
It doesn't
значения.
matter at
Это
all,
цирк.
this
Ни
circus.
для кого, даже для
Not for
России
anyone, not
не
even
имеет
for
никакого
Russians.
значения.
It means nothing.
Охренеть. А
Wow.
то там, ну, я смотрела, как бы это все,
Because I
там
looked,
все
I
настолько
watched it, and
официально,
it's
как
so
бы все,
official,
ну,
and
рады очень, то, что
everyone
вы
is
так
so
Russian
happy
people,
about
Russian
it. They
television
waited for 8 years.
Делает прекрасную, очень качественную.
Yeah, your TV makes a pretty picture, you know, high quality
Специально для
one,
вас,
especially for
чтобы вы
you.
поверили.
So you would
У
believe
них
it,
получается.
and they're pretty successful at it, it
То
seems.
есть это все блеф,
So
как бы.
that is
Что
all
именно?
bluff. What
Ну, вот
exactly?
эти вот все
Well, all of these
референдумы,
referendums
Референдумы в
and
условиях
referendums
оккупации не
during the
проводятся. Когда
occupation
приходит
are not
российская
being
армия,
done. When
уничтожает
Russian
города,
army is coming in and destroys
какой может
cities,
быть референдум?
what
На
referendum
основании
can you
какого
talk
закона?
about?
Украинского
Based
или
on what
российского?
law, Russian or Ukrainian?
Но все-таки остались
But
люди, которые
after all, there's
нормально
people that
относятся
treat
к
России, да.
Russians
К
well.
России нормально, никто
You
нет.
mean that treat Russia well? Nobody treats Russia well.
Относится. К россиянам
Нет,
еще.
ну,
Russians,
К россиянам
maybe,
еще можно как-то
maybe,
нормально
you know,
относиться, если не поддерживают
if they're not supporting
России
Russia and
уже
support
никто. Это
Ukraine, but
государство
nobody treats
агрессор,
Russia well.
террорист.
It's a terrorist country aggressor.
А как вы считаете, вот
What do you
начнется
think?
ядерная
Is
какая-нибудь
nuclear
война или
war
не
нет?
gonna
знаю, не
happen?
хотелось
I don't
бы.
know. I wouldn't
Ну,
like
может.
it, but it can.
Ну, вообще,
Well,
типа, наше телевидение говорит,
RTV is
что Украина
saying
это
that
как бы
Ukraine is
посредник
like
между Америкой и Россией.
is like a third party between America and Russia. It's like an intermediary.
Да, ну так нападайте на
Well,
Америку.
then go fucking attack
Всё, не
America.
надо, зачем
That's it.
посредник?
No need to. Why are you attacking third
Когда
parties?
со своим молодым человеком
When you're kissing your
Целуетесь, вам нужен
boyfriend,
посредник
do you need a intermediary?
Нет.
Нет.
No. Okay, exactly.
Если Россия воюет
If
с
Russia
Западом,
fights the
у вас
West,
там через
you
Беринговый
have
пролив
from the other side of the map,
3,6
you have like
километра до
3.6
Аляски.
kilometers to
Воюйте
Alaska.
там
Go
вот,
fight
непосредственно.
directly
Самая близкая
without third
точка.
parties.
Да. Ужасно,
Wow.
конечно.
Okay, that's
Но я
horrible.
думаю, что
But I think that
вот люди хотят мира между
people
собой,
want to be peaceful between
Какие
each
люди
other.
хотят
Which
мира? Мир
people?
наступает в результате
The peace
либо победы,
can be
либо
in
поражения.
the result of either victory or a loss.
Вы
Ну
чего-
как-то же раньше жили между собой.
Well, we
Что?
lived peacefully before this.
Раньше же как-то жили между собой.
Раньше
Well,
жили
before
мирно,
this,
сейчас
yes.
воюем.
Now we're at war.
Война
из-за
должна
чего?
War
закончиться
needs to end
победой, либо
either in
поражением.
victory or in
Тогда
a
будет
loss.
мир
Then there's going to be
на
peace
какое-то время.
for some time.
Что вы там спросили?
Грустно.
What did you ask me? It's sad, she says.
Да,
С чего это все
Well,
началось?
да,
why
вот
did
это
it all
всё
start?
началось
Why did it
из-за
all start?
политиков.
Why did it all start?
Нет.
It's not politics, no.
Политики исполняют волю народа.
Politicians
Вот пока
are executing the will of the people.
Конституции вы граждане
According to your
России, вам
constitutions,
принадлежит власть.
your
Ваше
Russian
правительство исполняет
citizens,
вашу волю.
you have a will of the citizens, and the government just does it.
Если ваше правительство
If
развязало
your
войну
government
против
started the
Украины,
war
таким
against
образом
Ukraine,
оно исполняет
therefore
волю
it
российского
exacts the
народа.
will
Российский
of
народ
Russian people. Russian
хочет
people
завоевать Украину.
want to
Правительство
occupy
выполняет его
Ukraine, and the country just does it.
Ну, не всегда так.
Well,
Если бы
not
так
always
всегда
it's the
было.
way
Как это
this
не
way.
всегда?
What do you mean
Не
not
всегда.
always? Always?
Ну, если бы правительство
Well,
наше
if the
выполняло нашу
government,
волю, то у нас давно в стране было
If the government would do our will, we would live happily in our country.
благополучнее,
Вот
чем
это
сейчас.
Well,
и есть
this
воля
is
вашего
the
народа.
will
Ваш
of your
народ не хочет
people.
жить
Your
мирно
people
с
don't
соседом.
want to live
Ваш народ
peacefully with
хочет
the neighbor. Your
воевать.
people wants to fight.
Вашему народу
Your
глубоко
people
наплевать на
don't give
внутренние
a
проблемы
fuck
Российской
about the problems
Федерации.
inside
И
Russia.
вот правительство
So
отражает
the
волю вашего
government is just
народа.
reflects the will of the people.
Хорошо, допустим,
And
если
okay,
вы
okay, good.
то
It's bad actually. Okay,
нас
well,
правительство
our
нам, скажем,
government
глазам мылит, лапшу на
is
уши вешает,
lying to
вероятность
us.
того, что вас не обманывают,
And
какую-то
what is the possibility that you're not being lied to?
В чем
Вы же тоже не
именно?
знаете.
Lied
В
to
чем
in
именно
which?
нас обманывают?
Lied to in
В
which?
том,
Не
что
исполняют, как бы.
российская армия
Russia
оккупировала часть
occupied
Украины.
part of Ukraine?
Сейчас со
Даже
спутников
даже
видно все.
You can see it from the
Понимаете, наши
satellites. You
войска на нашей
understand?
территории.
Your troops
Что
are
они
on our
здесь делают?
territory. What are they doing here?
А вот еще был вопрос.
Well,
как бы,
подождите.
no.
Вы
Wait a
перескакиваете с темы на
second.
тему.
You're
чем-
gish galloping.
Нас обманывают.
What
том,
are we
что
being
нет на
lied
Украине
to? That there's
российских
no
войск.
Russian troops on Ukraine?
Нет, они там есть.
No,
там
there are
есть.
there. Yeah, exactly.
они
They're
там
there.
делают?
What are they doing here?
и не убивают мирное
Well,
население.
Russian troops are not killing peaceful civilians in Ukraine.
Русские не
Oh,
убивают мирное
Russians don't
население
kill peaceful
Украины.
civilians.
Посмотрите в
I
любом
see.
телеграм-канале.
Look at any Telegram
Вчера,
channel.
обстреляли
Yesterday, they
Запорожье.
shot at
Жилые
Zaporizhia. Just
дома,
regular
многоэтажки.
houses, multiple-story buildings.
Уничтожен
They
район
destroyed
в Харькове.
the region in
Многие
Kharkiv,
улицы и дома
many
называются
streets,
Северная Салтовка.
northern
Наберите в
Saltovka.
поисковике
Just
Северная
Google it.
Салтовка.
Northern
Вы
Saltovka,
увидите
Kharkiv, and you will
видео,
find
фото,
videos,
десятки
photos,
тысяч. Моя племянница
thousands of
живет
them. I have a
Северном
nephew
Салтово,
that lived
Харькове.
in
Она
northern
присылает эти
Saltovo.
фотографии.
She
Ей
shows me the
повезло.
pictures.
У нее только
She
пули
is
или осколки
lucky. She
пробили
only has bullet holes
окна на балконе.
in
и
the
всё.
in the
А у
windows,
соседей
and the
попала прямо в квартиру.
neighbors
Квартиры
got a
нет.
hit in the
А ей
apartment.
повезло.
There is no apartment, and she got lucky. That's horrible.
А вы
Ну,
думаете, что
And you think
украинцы вас
that
обманывают?
Ukrainians are lying to you?
Нет, мы не думаем,
No,
вы
we don't
избираете?
think that you're lying
Мы
to
думаем,
us. We
что
think
ваше
that
правительство
your
также может
government
вас обманывать. В
could
чём-
be
в чём
lying
вы
to you.
говорите?
Именно.
What
В своих
exactly?
действиях.
In their
Вы же не
actions,
знаете?
in
Вы
what
говорите
actions?
общими
You're
словами.
talking in
Если вы сейчас
generalities.
скажете,
If you're telling me
В
something
чем именно наше правительство
specific,
нас обманывает,
what are we
я как
being
бы с вами
lied to, then
подискутирую,
maybe
там,
let's discuss it.
выясним, в чем именно.
We'll figure it out. But what
Даже в
exactly?
общих чертах.
Well, in
Каких
general
общих
things.
чертах?
In what
Это общий
general
трёп. В чём
things? You're talking about nothing. What exactly?
именно? У нас не идет война
We
с
don't have a
Россией.
war with Russia?
Нет, это идет.
No,
Идет.
there
факт.
is.
А в чем именно?
When then, what exactly is your
Почему
point
наши
here?
войска там
Why our
оказались? Просто
troops
потому
are
что
there
когда
because
Крым к нам
when Crimea
присоединился,
joined
вот
our
всё
А как это он
country, what do you mean
присоединился к вам?
joined your country?
Каким
How did
образом
he
он
do it? How
присоединился
did
к вам?
Crimea join your
Какого
country?
года это было?
В
In which
2014
year it
году
was?
вы
It was in
оккупировали
2014.
Крым
You occupied
российской армией.
Crimea with Russian army.
Ну,
В
не
смысле,
знаю.
как?
Dude, this fucking bitch triggers the fuck out of me, dude. She's like, occupied? Looks at her dumbass fucking bitch ass friend. What is he saying? What do you mean occupied? You didn't tell me that. Fucking triggers this bitch. Holy shit. Occupied?
У кого?
What do you mean? How did we? What? We occupied it?
Окей.
У кого как? Почитайте международные
Just look
документы.
the international
У вас нету
documents.
доступа до
You don't have
интернета, до
access to
сайта
internet
ООН?
to you look at the United
Или
Nations
вам
website,
глубоко плевать
or
на
you don't give a
ООН?
shit
Что?
about United Nations.
Я считаю, что
I
вам
believe that
правительство много не
the
договаривает.
government doesn't tell you a lot of things.
Что
Кажется,
What
именно?
exactly?
Я же не знаю, что именно.
Well,
это
I
как-
don't know what exactly.
Зачем вы
Then why the
треплетесь?
fuck are you
Извините,
talking
девушка, что я
shit? I'm
употребил
sorry
это
that I'm
слово.
using this word.
Что именно нам не
Why?
договаривают?
What are they exactly not telling us?
Интересно, вот мой
Well,
знакомый
What's
служит на
interesting,
Украине.
one of the people I know is fighting in Ukraine,
Он по контракту.
and
И
he's
он
the
говорит, что там
contractor,
стоит
and he
куча
tells
установок
us that
НАТО.
there's a lot of NATO weaponry there.
То есть как бы не русские.
Not Russian.
конечно,
Yeah, of course,
однозначно.
yeah,
Именно
100%.
Конечно,
Yes,
натовское,
NATO,
американское,
American,
британское
British,
оружие,
yes, of course.
Неофициально
We are officially
покупаем
buying
оружие
the
в
weapons
США,
from
Британии. Нам
USA,
бесплатно
Britain.
дают оружие
They're
страны
giving us some
Европы,
weapons
потому
for
что на
free
нас
from
напала
Europe because
Российская
Russia
Федерация.
attacked us.
У нас законно
We
стоят
lawfully
вооруженные
put that
силы
stuff
и оружие НАТО.
on our
А что делает
territory.
российский
What is
солдат на
your
нашей
army
территории?
doing on our territory?
Потому что, как нам сказали,
Because, as we were told,
Украина подвела
Ukraine
войска к
put
границам
troops to the
России.
borders of
Вы на
Russia.
карте
Have you
Украину и
seen
Россию
the
видели вообще?
Russia and Ukraine
Да.
on the map?
И вы
Yes.
представляете, что
Do
Украина
you
будет нападать на
understand that
Россию, да?
Ukraine would just attack
Ну, там
Russia?
это все через Америку
Well,
идет,
it's
это
through.
Америка
It goes
через
through
Америку
America.
идет.
What goes
Вы
through America?
масштабы
Have you
своей
seen the
страны, одна шестая
scale
часть
of your
суши,
country?
и Украина
1/6
600
of the
тысяч
land,
квадратных
and
километров.
Ukraine 600,000
Украинцы
square kilometers.
имеют дальность
Ukrainians
стрельбы до 100
have the
километров.
capability to
Точка
hit
У у нас
100
есть.
plus
А ваши крылатые
kilometers.
ракеты 2-2,5
Точка U,
тысячи
and your
километров.
cruise missiles 2,5
Вы лупите
thousand
по Украине крылатыми
kilometers.
ракетами,
You
которые
shell us
запускаются
with the
подводными
missiles
лодками с
that are
Каспийского
being
моря.
that are being launched by submarines from the
Поэтому
Caspian Sea,
Украина
and
до 100
that's why
километров
Ukraine
стреляя,
can shoot.
вам
Shooting
представляла
100
угрозу.
kilometers
А
away
Россия, которая
is
имеет
threatening to you,
2500
and
километров
Russia that
крылатые
has
ракеты,
2,500
как бы
cruise missiles,
угрозы для Украины не
kilometer cruise
представляет
missiles,
никакой.
is not threatening to Ukraine. Is that right?
Просто что обидно на
Well,
самом
it's
деле,
just
не
sad
хотелось бы
that
всего этого.
I
У
wouldn't
меня
like
по
this
маминой
happening.
Вы
You
хотите на
understand?
протесты, вы
You
сидите
go to the protest. You're sitting
в
in a
машине
car
со мной
and talking
общаетесь,
to
вместо
me
того, чтобы протестовать
instead of
против войны.
protesting.
Что?
Да.
What did you say?
Явно ж не в 10
Well,
вечера.
it's not at 10
Завтра с
and,
утра можете
not,
выйти.
not at 10 p.m. though, right? You can go. You can protest tomorrow in the morning.
Мы работаем.
Well, we're
Можете в
working.
выходные
You
дни.
can do it in the. Do you hear what these fucking whores are fucking saying, dude? They're even laughing about it. Oh, we just wanted to give you a good mood. Protesting? Nah. Fuck that. Fuck you. Fucking Christ.
Выйти.
It says you can go protest in the morning. We're working.
Да, и даже если
У нас
мы выйдем,
солдаты
как бы,
умирают.
You can go at the
Вы
weekend.
здесь рассказываете о том, что нас обманывают.
Soldiers are dying in our country, and you're telling me that we're being lied to.
Нет, просто если как
Well,
бы
no,
мы
it's
выйдем, там,
if we're
допустим, даже
gonna go
вдвоем, как бы,
protest
нас быстренько
together, we're
скрутят.
just gonna be put in jail.
Потому что в
And
нашем...
And they're gonna do
Потому
the
что
right
ваше
thing
общество
because
хочет
your
воевать с
society
Украиной.
wants to fight Ukraine.
Очень грустно.
Вы лично,
That's sad,
может, и
she
не
says.
хотите.
Maybe you personally
Но
don't,
ваши знакомые с удовольствием
but
на контракт
but apparently some of the people you know, gladly go.
Те воюют
Some of the acquaintances gladly go to the contract
в
work
Украине. Вы же
and
только что
fight in
сказали,
Ukraine. You just
что у вас
told
есть
me
знакомый,
that you
который
have an
воюет по контракту в
acquaintance
Украине.
that
Он
that
хочет воевать
fights.
с
He
Украиной,
wants
он
to
хочет
fight.
деньги на
He
этом
wants to
зарабатывать.
earn money.
Как бы у нас...
Well,
у него, точнее, выхода нет.
well, he has no
Ага.
other choice.
Выход такой, что
Oh,
он
no other
мобилизованный
choice. Is
по
he
контракту.
immobilized on the contract?
Вы
Do
представляете, что
you understand what is immobilized and what is a
По
contract
контракту этот
worker?
человек
If you're a
хочет
contract
сам
worker, you
воевать.
go there to fight.
Он был по контракту
Yeah, he was on the
сначала.
contract in the
таких у
beginning.
вас
Well,
десятки
there's
тысяч,
tens of
если не
thousands
миллионы,
of people like that
которые
that you
хотят
have in your
воевать.
country, if not millions,
Fight
that
по
want to
контракту.
fight with the contract.
Ладненько. Мы
Okay,
пойдем.
we're gonna go
Надо на работу.
because
Вы
we
там
need to go to
держитесь,
the
как бы.
job.
Ну, как
Do your
говорится,
do your do your best
Уже
to
пять-
hold on.
5 областей отбили.
We're holding on just fine. We took back 5 regions already.
Ладно. Всего вам
Okay.
хорошего. Главное
Good day.
здоровье и терпение.
Patience and health.
Спасибо.
Wow, thanks.
До свидания.
Які милі дівчата.
So cute girls, damn.
Нам щось не договорюють.
They're not telling us something. What? Something. Okay. That was fucking cringe, dude. Holy fucking shit, bro. The fucking stupid bitches go to Omegle or whatever the fuck it's called. They select to be matched with Ukrainians. They're like, oh, we're so sorry that this is happening. Well, are you gonna do anything about it? Nah, fuck off. A person that I'm closely acquainted with, not necessarily a friend, fights in Ukraine, you know? But people don't want to fight. Only some people that I know want to fight, which is a lot of people, actually. Man, this guy fucking minces these fucking losers, though. The logic is fucking impeccable. Well, this is another guy, and I have no idea what is going to be discussed here, but it's a popular one, and it's most replayed moment. I don't know. Let's take a look. I don't know. It says, Stefan,
Как ваши дела?
how are you
Твоими
doing?
молитвами, о чем хочешь пообщаться?
Thanks to your prayers, what do you want to talk about?
О жизни, просто о жизни.
About life.
Твоя жизнь.
How is your life then?
Вполне нормально.
I'm doing
У меня
alright.
растет ребенок.
I have a
у меня
baby
жена.
growing up.
Замечательно.
Wow,
А в мой
great
город вчера
news.
прилетело
And
2
my
иранских
city
дрона, которые
got hit by Iranian Shahed drones
покупаете в
that you
Иран.
motherfuckers are
И
buying
попали в
from
мирные
Iran
4 объекта.
and hit 4 civilian targets.
Это тяжелая тема.
This is a difficult discussion.
Неприятная тема.
Oh, you don't like it?
Нет.
No.
Потому
Почему?
что
Because
Ты какую страну выбрал?
what country did you select for this?
никакую.
I
Я,
didn't.
все страны.
You selected all countries?
Я не выбираю.
No,
в
I
смысле в
don't.
рулетке?
Oh, you mean in the roulette?
У меня все страны.
Yeah, it's
все.
all
Украинцам
countries.
вопросы есть какие-то?
You have
конкретные?
questions to Ukrainians specifically?
Да, я бы хотел
Yeah.
бы несколько вопросов.
I would like to
задать.
ask you a couple of questions. I'm
Если
here. I'm
смогу,
listening
отвечу.
to you. Maybe I'll
Вот
tell you.
смотрите, нам
This guy is super old too. He's fucking base as shit. Apparently, you don't have to be fucking degenerate to if you're old. This guy is super fucking sharp. The link above. They found the drone. Don't tell me it's gonna be Zelensky in the barrel again.
Смотри, блядь. Ты видишь? Вот, Рома. Смотри. Посмотри, брат. Смотри, вот прям над нашим домом.
Guys, you're so stupid, dude. Yeah, I lost the video. Where is it?
For the long
Where's the video? Where's the video? Fucking Christ. You did this.
ребенок, у меня есть жена.
Ты какую страну выбрал?
Говорят в России то, что...
Отвечу.
Да, вот смотрите.
Okay, listen.
Нам говорят в России...
We're being
то,
told in
что
Russia that
на Украине ущемляют
in
русский
Ukraine
язык, русскоязычных людей. Так?
they're not allowing they don't like Russians and Russian-speaking people. Is that correct?
Что имеется в виду
What do you
ущемляют?
mean they
Мы
don't
их
like?
расстреливаем на
Are
улицах.
we shooting them on the street?
Мы им заклеиваем
We're
скотчем. Что
we're putting fucking tape on their mouths,
Я не знаю,
I
в
don't
каком
know.
это контексте
In
говорится.
this
да,
я не
context.
понимаю вашего
Well, then
вопроса.
I don't understand your question.
Ну, нам это говорят СМИ.
Well, we're being told that by the news.
Мне,
Well,
например, СМИ говорят, что Земля плоская. но
news tell me that the Earth is
я в
flat.
это не верю.
I don't believe it.
Хорошо.
Okay.
Допустим,
Let's
неонацизм
say-
у вас присутствует?
Do you have neo-Nazism?
Присутствует, как в
We
любой стране. У
have,
вас тоже
as
есть
in any country, you have
нацисты. У вас
neo-Nazism
Рогозин,
too.
бывший глава Роскосмоса,
The Rogozin, the former Roscosmos guy,
неонацист
is a
русский.
neo-Nazi, by the way.
Нас это как-то мало волнует.
We're not very interested in that.
Ну да.
We don't care.
Найдите в интернете
You
зигующего
You can find Rogozin doing Zig Heil
Рогозина в молодости. Он был в
when he's
неонацистской
young. He
группировке.
was in a neo-Nazi,
У вас в Санкт-Петербурге
in a neo-Nazi band.
собираются мировые неонацистские лидеры.
In St. Petersburg, you have conventions for world neo-Nazi
Вы
leaders.
даже и не знаете
You
об этом.
didn't even know about
Зато
that,
в
right?
Украине
But in
неонацизм.
Ukraine, you talk about neo-Nazism.
Вопрос тогда
Okay, the
обратно уже, но он
question
мне тогда вот
is
сам
a
себе
different
его задаю,
one.
тогда зачем эта война?
So why is this war then?
Задайте этот вопрос
Well, then
своему
ask
руководству.
this question to your
Вы же
leadership.
понимаете, что
You
это
understand that
бессмысленно задавать
this
эти
is-
вопросы.
Как-то бессмысленно.
This is worthless to ask them any
Вы свою
questions. What do you
конституцию
mean?
читали?
Did you read your constitution?
Именно что?
Exactly
что
what?
власть принадлежит
Exactly
народу.
that
У вас
the power, people have the power. You are a republic
Под названием Российская
called the
Федерация.
Russian Federation,
И власть исполняет
and
вашу
the
волю.
leadership is executing your will of the people.
Ага, конечно.
Yeah, right.
Это ваша
Well,
воля воевать
this
с
is your
Украиной.
will to
Ваша
fight Ukraine,
личная воля.
your personal will.
Я лично туда не иду.
I
на
personally
Украину,
don't
и,
go
ну,
there.
в Украину, как бы это сейчас, я неправильно, не знаю, как правильно звучит. И оружие
And
брать не
I
собираюсь.
don't pick up the
Вы
weapon.
повестку по мобилизации
Did you
получили?
receive the conscription notice?
Получили.
Yeah,
Получили. И
yeah. And
Что? Я 3000 штрафов.
what? I just paid
всё,
3,000
делали с лёгким
rubles
штрафом.
a fine. That's it? You just paid the
пока не
fine and
трогал.
that's it?
Это уже хорошо. это
That's
радует.
good. That's good. I'm happy to hear that.
Ну, у нас конфликт с
Yeah, but we
военкомом
have a
получился,
conflict
там
with
небольшой, меня
the conscription guy.
вызвали, я приехал.
They called
Они мне
me,
хотели
I
дать
came
еще
there.
одну повестку, но
They gave me another notice.
я выразил свою позицию,
I
сказал,
gave my
ну,
position
ребят,
that,
у меня
guys,
бабушка украинка, да, и
I
как
have my grandma is
я
Ukrainian,
поеду украинцев
and
убивать?
how
Или
am I gonna go and kill Ukrainians? Why do I need
Что
this?
сказал военком?
What did the conscription officer said?
Ну ты же, твои деды
He
боролись с
said
нацизмом,
your grandfathers
я
fought
говорю, а там есть
Nazism.
нацисты?
Are there Nazis there?
Он говорит, да, я говорю,
He
я
says
не знаю,
yes.
я не видел.
Well, I don't know. I
Есть
didn't.
кругом.
There's Nazis are
Нет,
everywhere, my dude.
нацисты
Well,
подразумеваются
Nazis.
какие?
You mean in the
опять же,
power?
подразумеваются какие?
No, I
В
mean
обычном населении,
in the
обычные
regular
люди.
citizens
Да,
or
насколько есть у меня знакомых украинцев много, да, под
I've-
Львовом.
I know many Ukrainians
А
near
в Киеве у
Lviv,
меня есть
in
некоторые
Kiev.
спортсмены знакомые, да, то есть я сам спортсмен, и у меня есть
I'm
знакомые
I'm
спортсмены,
doing
с Украины.
sports, so I have a lot of
И
sports guys and
никого я
and
там
friends,
нацистов
and
не
I
видел,
don't know any
которые там,
Nazis
знаете,
in there
зигуют или еще что-то
that are
делают.
doing
Еще
like
раз говорю,
Heil
неонацисты
Hitler or
есть
whatever.
кругом.
There's neo-Nazis are everywhere.
Вопрос
Да.
в том,
The
если
question
неонацисты при власти
Are these Nazis in
в
power
Украине,
in Ukraine? That's the question.
ну вам же говорят, что
Well, they're being
неонацисты при
told that
власти или нет?
neo-Nazis are in
Или
the
просто
power,
говорят,
right?
что неонацисты.
Or they're just some neo-Nazis.
В принципе, нацисты говорят.
Well, they're just
Но
saying
опять же
Nazis.
задается-
Oh, just in general. Okay.
опять задается вопрос, как
And then
может
there's,
быть
I have a
еврей
question:
нацистом?
How can a Jewish president be a Nazi?
Я тоже не знаю.
Yeah,
У
I
нас
don't know that
президент
either.
еврей и премьер-министр.
We have a president and a prime minister who are Jewish.
Очень интересно.
Yeah,
да.
that's
Я
very
согласен с
interesting.
вами.
I agree.
Ну, вы в такой интересной
Well,
стране
we're-
живете.
you live in a very interesting
Сколько,
country.
кстати, штраф вы заплатили?
How much money did you pay for the fine?
3000 рублей.
3,000
Это в долларах
rubles.
сколько? Я в
How,
рублях
m-
плохо
how
соображаю.
many that in dollars? I don't understand rubles.
Ой, у нас доллар сейчас упал.
Dollar
ну, пускай это
is
будет
like
60 долларов.
60
долларов.
bucks.
$60.
Okay,
Yeah,
60
like
bucks.
копейки.
That is nothing.
Согласен.
Yeah, I agree.
Полностью согласен. Но это не стоит того, чтобы брать
That it's,
на
it's not
грех.
it's not worth to take a sin in my
Согласен с
soul.
вами.
I agree.
Уголовку на вас не навесили еще?
They didn't put
Нет, пока
They didn't put you. They don't track you anywhere.
нет.
Пока
No, not yet.
Понятно. Это вы в
Okay.
каком регионе живете?
In which region you live?
Красноярск.
Красноярск.
Сибирский федеральный округ.
Далеко.
Oh, that's a far away.
Это
Yeah.
тот, который углем
Is
топится
that the
земля.
one that is using coal to heat the houses?
Да.
Yeah.
Понятно.
Okay, understood.
Ну, газ
Вам
еще
не
не до-
странно, что у вас
Are you
огромный
not
город
weirded
топится
out
углем,
that you have a huge city that is being heated by
а рядом газовое
charcoal
месторождение?
and you have gas nearby?
Нет, у нас не
No,
совсем рядом газовое
it's not
месторождение.
near.
У нас газовые
It's,
нефтерождения. Это у
gas
нас
and
Норильск,
oil
Дудинка
is
и, ну, и так далее, да.
somewhere else.
У нас
It's
очень...
further. We have
Так, это где у нас? Назаровский
in
район. У
Nazarovsk
нас
region
большое
we have
углерождение. И
big
это
big coal
выгоднее
mine,
Ну да.
доставлять
and that's why
уголь.
it's cheaper.
Экономически выгодно
Потому что
травить
Oh,
население.
economically smarter to poison the civilians, of course,
Выхлопами из каменного угля и воевать с Украиной.
and
Это
fight
очень
with
выгодно.
Ukraine. That's
Я
the
понял.
two best decisions you're making right now. Yeah, I got it.
С Украиной воевать
Well,
это не
with
выгодно.
Ukraine
Ну, как
fighting,
не
выгодно?
it's not a good economical choice. Oh
Для
yeah.
властей это выгодно,
For
но а для обычного населения это не выгодно.
for elite it is, but not for the regular folks.
Население радуется
Why not? The folks are happy.
увеличению
Ну,
размера России.
Russia is getting bigger, huh?
Зря. Это не, извините меня,
I'm
конечно,
sorry,
когда мне
but
сказали, что
when they
ты должен
told me
пойти
that you
воевать за
need to
родину, я
fight
говорю, какая моя родина? Моя
to fight for your motherland, I asked what
родина вот
motherland.
кончается на границе с Ростовом.
My
и
motherland ends
Краснодарским
with the
краем, вот
border
там
of
где-то.
Rostov and
Белгород,
Krasnodar.
да, это моя
Belgorod,
родина. Ну, на
yeah.
нее, говорю, никто не нападал.
But nobody is
начнем с этого.
attacking Belgorod. Oh, this is an older one.
А то, что там присоединили, это ваши
And
проблемы, это не мои проблемы.
whatever is happening there is not my
Ух ты, как
problem.
интересно. А Крым
Wow,
чей?
interesting. Who's Crimea?
Крым,
Who owns Crimea?
крымчан, татарских
Crimea owned by Crimean Tatars?
крымчан.
Татарских
А.
крымчан.
Oh, Tatars.
А
Okay.
Красноярск?
And
Красноярчан.
Krasnoyarsk is Krasnoyarsk people.
Кстати,
By
был
the
такой
way,
генерал Лебедь,
there was a General
он очень
Lebed.
сильно
He
топил вот
was
именно за
very
эту тему,
for
чтобы Красноярск был
Krasnoyarsk being
республикой,
a
не
republic,
Красноярский край,
not
а был республикой.
Это ваши
Krasnoyarski
внутренние
region.
проблемы, меня
It's your
это не
internal
Ну,
things.
понимаете,
I'm not
да,
very
видите.
interested
Меня
in
интересует,
that.
чтобы
I'm
ваша армия
interested
убралась с
that
моей
your army
территории.
would get the
А
fuck
Крым,
out of my
который
territory,
крымчан, вернулся,
and Crimea, that belongs to Crimeans,
в
would
состав
come back
Украины.
to Ukraine.
Ну,
Well,
Что ну?
просто, понимаете, я вот
you
так,
understand.
я вот не так давно был в Крыму, и
I've been to
разговаривал
Crimea
с людьми,
recently.
с разными
Ah,
нарушали
so
законодательство
you
Украины.
broke the law of Ukraine and you visited occupied territory.
Почему ты нарушал закон?
What do you mean by
А
that?
потому что по
Because
законодательству
according to
Украины,
Ukrainian
въезд на
law,
территорию
if
Крыма
you're
только с
going to
материковой
visit,
части Украины.
if you're going to visit Crimea, you have to visit only through the land entrance to Crimea.
Люди, которые
And people
либо
who
через мост
Are
крымский,
using
либо
Crimean Bridge or
авиапутем
with
попадают в
aviation
Крым,
are going to
нарушители
Crimea
украинского
are
законодательства.
basically breaking
Поэтому ты
our
ничем не
borders,
отличаешься от
and
большинства
it's
своих
you're very similar to other people in your country
соплеменников.
that disrespect
А то,
our
что ты $60
territorial borders.
заплатил, как бы
And the fact that you paid $60
тебе
is,
просто
you
повезло.
know, you just got lucky.
Я как раз ехал через Украину.
Well, I went through
Я ехал
Ukraine.
с Киева, меня
I
друзья
went through
приглашали на
Kiev.
сборы.
People invited
Я
me
к вам
over.
ездил тренироваться с вашими
I
спортсменами.
was training with your guys there.
это в каком году было?
Okay. In which year it was?
2018 год.
2018. Oh, I see.
Тогда понятно.
Всё было,
Okay, no problem.
всё было легально.
Так, и ты был
Okay.
в Крыму,
So you
и
were
ты
in
спрашивал
Crimea and you
население,
were
и
asking
население
people there, and
страшно
people
радо
were like
присоединились.
very happy about being part of Russia.
Не совсем.
Not
Я-
really.
Нет,
Not
я
really?
не хотел сказать.
А что?
No, I wouldn't say that. What would you want to
Все
say?
рады, не все счастливы.
Not all
этому.
people are
Не
happy.
все рады, не все счастливы.
Definitely
Но
not all.
большинство-то
But
радуется.
most are happy, right?
Нет.
No.
Нет, большинство
No?
крымчан
Most
не радуются
Crimeans are
России.
not happy about Russia?
Нет.
No.
Ты такой первый,
Wow,
который я
you're the
вижу.
first guy I fucking see saying this.
Ага. Вы
you
думаете,
think
мы
that
такие
we're all-
оккупировали Крым? Ну,
We
оккупировали
occupied
Вы
Крым.
оккупанты
Crimea.
100%.
Yes, you did occupy
Господи,
Crimea. Well, okay,
что
we
тут
did.
думать?
Я
Yeah.
Я не думаю, я вам говорю как есть.
Yeah,
Мы оккупировали
we
Крым,
occupied
хорошо, да?
Crimea, okay.
Это
И
плохо.
такие люди,
It's not
и люди
okay.
такие,
And
вау,
people are like,
классно, вы нас
wow, cool,
оккупировали,
you
мы так рады,
occupied
что
us,
вы
and
нас
we're
приняли
so
в
happy
Россию.
that we're part
Нет,
of Russia.
это неправда.
No, it's not
У
true.
меня
Okay.
в Крыму,
In
в
Crimea,
горном Крыму,
in mountain Crimea,
есть хорошая знакомая, ну она
I
была
have
хорошей моей знакомой.
I had a good friend
Хорошая знакомая, которой я гостил в Крыму.
who I was visiting
Она очень
constantly.
рада приходу России.
She's very happy about Russia being there.
Ну, это удивительно,
Well,
потому
that's
что которые у меня
incredible
товарищи
because
приезжали вот не так
people
давно, когда построили
who
Крымский мост,
visited
им
after
прокалывали
the bridge
колеса.
was built, their tires were deflated.
Я думаю, не так уж сильно
I
любят.
don't think people are happy.
Это
Beautiful.
хорошо.
That's good.
Это
Ну,
меня
почему
радует.
I'm very happy about that.
Прокалывать колеса
To
оккупанту,
blow the tires
это хорошо, и это
to the occupant is good,
меня
and
радует. Что
I
не
am
так?
happy about it. What do you don't like
Почему
it?
радует?
Why are you happy?
Потому что
Because
оккупанту прокалывать
occupant is
колеса,
being
это
fucked.
хорошо.
It's good.
Хорошо, тогда давайте
Okay.
задам встречный
I'll
вопрос.
ask you a
Почему, когда
question.
была оккупация
Why,
Крыма,
when there was occupation
почему
of
ваши власти
Crimea,
вообще ничего
why
не
your
сделали?
why your officials didn't do anything at all?
Почему они допустили
Why they
оккупацию?
allowed the
В чем суть
occupation,
вопроса?
or what's the
Да,
question?
почему они
Yeah.
допустили
Why they
оккупацию Крыма?
allowed the
Почему не было
occupation
вообще
of
никаких
Crimea?
действий?
Why there was no action?
Действия были.
There
но
was
есть много
actions.
фактов.
However, there's a lot of
было ни одного
factors.
действия.
No,
Я
there was
лично
not a
были.
single action. There was
Есть
actions.
были.
There was actions.
Есть медаль за взятие Крыма.
There's medals
еще
for Crimea. What
У
did you
меня
say?
лично есть медаль
I
за взятие
have
Крыма.
a
Я тогда
medal for taking
был
Crimea.
срочником, и нас
I was a military guy back at the time,
туда отправили просто по неволе.
and we were just told to go there. We didn't even want to go
Так,
there.
и-
Oh, and
Рассказываю тебе, смотри,
I'm
что
telling
ваша
you,
операция.
here's
И
listen.
мои
Рассказываю
I'm
тебе,
telling
что-
you
ну,
that
ты задал вопрос,
you
я
asked me
хочу
a question. Let me answer it.
Что ваша операция
Your
началась еще
operation
20
started on
февраля
the 20th of
2014
February
года.
2014,
Что на твоей медальке
which
и
is
отображено,
exactly
если
what
ты
is
на
shown
неё
on your
смотрел.
medal, if you ever saw
Я
it.
ее видел.
Yeah, I
Вот, и в
definitely
руках
saw
держал.
it. And held in your
Соответственно, а
hands.
26
Therefore,
числа
on the
ночь,
26th
силы специальных
of
операций в
February,
Симферополе захватили парламент и
the forces of special operations took over
ночь. Силы специальных операций в Симферополе захватили
in Simferopol
парламент и
Parliament
правительственное здание
and the
Автономной
government
Республики.
building of the Autonomous Republic of Crimea.
У нас в этот момент
During this
президента не
moment,
было,
we
у
didn't
нас был
have a
политический
president.
хаос.
We had a political
Наша
chaos.
верхушка не знала, что
Our
делать в
top
этой
didn't know what to
ситуации.
do in
Было
this
создано
situation.
Совет
They
национальной
created
безопасности и
these,
обороны
the National Security Council of
во
Defense,
главе с Турчиновым.
and the head of that was Turchinov.
Этот документ
This
опубликован
document is
Турчиновым
published by
же, где
Turchinov,
поднималась вопрос,
where
а что
the
нам делать в этой
question
ситуации,
was raised, what do we do in this
когда русские
situation
прут,
when
в
Russians
Крыму?
are
Турчинов
pushing in Crimea?
единственный, кто голосовал
Turchinov was the only guy
за то, чтобы по вас стрелять.
who voted to shoot you.
Все остальные сказали,
Everyone
нельзя
else
стрелять.
said, no, we
Это
can't.
наши братья.
It's our
Мы еще не
brothers.
разобрались,
We don't know
что
what's
они здесь
happening.
делают.
What are they
Был хаос и
doing?
шок.
There was chaos and
высшего
shock. The
А теперь
leadership
опускаемся
had.
на уровень
And now we're going
солдат,
to the
которые
level
в
of
Крыму.
soldiers who were in
У нас
Crimea.
комплектация армии шла по
Our
принципу
army was equipped by
где
the
родился, там и
principle
пригодился. То есть,
where you were born, there you're gonna stay.
где ты родился,
Basically,
там ты и служишь.
you're doing the service on your location.
И в Крыму жили,
And in
жили,
Crimea,
служили, в
In
основном
military,
жители
it was
Крыма,
mostly Crimeans
которые русских
who
никогда не воспринимали
never
как
treated
врагов.
Russians as
И
enemies.
когда на него подходит
And,
русский
a
солдат и
Russian
направляет
soldier,
на него оружие,
puts his gun towards him.
у него тоже психологический
He
шок.
also is in psychological
не
shock,
получил
and he
указа
didn't
стрелять по вас.
he didn't get a order to shoot you,
Хотя по уставу
even though
воинской
according
службы
to Ukrainian military law,
он должен был, конечно, в вас стрелять.
he should have shot you.
Ну вас никто не стрелял.
but nobody shot
У
you.
нас погиб один
One
военнослужащий.
military guy
время этой
died
операции.
during this operation,
Вот, поэтому вот я тебе объясняю
and
ситуацию.
I'm telling you
Шок
the
высшего политического
situation. The
руководства.
shock of the
Потом было
top
принято
leadership.
решение, что Крым мы все
Then the
равно потеряем.
decision was made that Crimea we're gonna lose
Потому что
anyway,
в Крыму у нас
because
было
in Crimea
ну,
we
по
had
максимуму
maybe
6-8, может быть 12 где-то тысяч
6,
человек
8,
военнослужащих.
12,000
У вас по
military
договору
men.
стояло свыше 20
You
тысяч.
had
Крым-
more than 20,000 military just in Crimea, according to our
Ну,
agreement,
в разных местах.
in different
И
points.
еще
And
перекидалось еще
you were
приблизительно
also
столько же. То есть
throwing additional 20,000 into Crimea during that
в
time.
этой
Therefore,
ситуации
in this
вести
situation,
оборонительные
to
бои
do defensive
практически
fighting, it was
невозможно.
pretty much
То есть мы все равно
impossible.
бы Крым
We would
потеряли.
lose Crimea
Ну, чисто
anyway,
боевая ситуация,
just
ты ж понимаешь,
militarily, you
соотношение сил.
understand.
Но при этом еще погибло
But we
большое
would
количество
lose a
мирного
lot
населения,
of
потому что
civilians as
особенно
well,
южный берег
because
Крыма,
especially
он
the
плотно
south
застроен.
border
Вот
of
если там вести
Crimea,
боевые
there's a
действия в
lot
городах, так
of
как вы ведете
buildings,
сейчас
and
на
if you look at what you're doing right now in Ukraine,
востоке
all of
Украины,
that would
то есть
probably
все
be
равно мы бы Крым
destroyed,
потеряли,
and we
все
would lose
равно
Crimea
бы. Но еще бы
anyway,
было огромное
and
количество жителей, ну,
there
мирных
would be a
погибело.
lot of
Поэтому те вот сумма
civilian
факторов
losses. So that
привела
the
к
sum
тому,
of
что Крым был,
factors
по сути,
basically we came to a decision to leave Crimea.
Украиной.
Все, можно вопрос задам?
Another
Тогда
question, can I
один,
ask you?
крайний вопрос. Вот смотрите,
Uh,
по поводу
about
2014 года и Донбасса.
2014 and Donbass.
Ну,
Well,
Имеется в виду, что когда
yeah, I
Донбасс
mean,
объявил, что
when
он хочет
Donbass
быть
said that
отдельной
wants to be
республикой,
separate
никакой
republic.
Донбасс ничего не
Donbass
объявлял.
didn't said
Слушай,
anything, man.
Почему? Ну, это
Why?
же
Что?
говорилось.
What?
Кем
Были же
говорил?
минские,
Who said that?
были же минские
There
вот
was
эти вот
Minsk,
переговоры.
Дорогой
да,
мой, Минские
agreements.
переговоры это 1
Minsk
сентября. Ты
agreements
как
is
бы
Minsk negotiations is the 1st of September.
тайм-код выставь.
Put
по
your
датам.
time code.
Это 1 сентября.
This is the 1st of
А
September,
Гиркин
and
зашел туда в
Girkin
апреле.
entered in April.
52 человека,
52
российских
people,
военнослужащих,
Russian
во главе с
military,
Гиркиным,
with
захватили
Girkin was the
Славянск.
head, took Slavyansk.
Кто там какое-то местное население?
What do you mean
Конечно,
local
местное население.
civilian? Local,
Часть,
local
которая
civilian, part
называется
of
во всех
them,
учебниках
who,
коллаборационисты.
who are being called in every literature collaborationists.
Конечно, ваши
Of
спящие
course,
ячейки на Донбассе.
Your sleeper
Конечно,
cells
они
in
поддержали
Donbass, of
вторжение
course, they
Гиркина.
supported the
Кто
Girkin
там о чем
invasion.
говорил? Какое население?
What
Бабушки сумасшедшие с
leadership?
плакатами.
Grandmas with the fucking
Что
pamphlets?
ли? Туда вошли российские
There was
войска.
Russian military there,
Говорят же, что нет российских
but they're
войск.
saying there's no military.
Говорят, в Москве
Well,
курдают. Знаешь, вот есть
Well,
такое.
they're saying they can say whatever they
Согласен,
want, right?
да.
Поэтому то, что говорят,
So what they're
всегда
saying
бабушки
is,
под подъездом
you
еще
know,
не такое говорят.
can
Ну,
wipe your
если ты
ass
сам
with it.
принимал участие в этих
If
событиях,
you're saying that you even participated
и в
yourself,
Крыму,
then what
как
the
бы,
fuck are you
так,
talking about?
и голова у тебя на месте, ты должен понимать, что там происходило.
Там происходили вообще непонятки.
А что ж там не понятно?
You then understand what was happening there. I actually don't understand what was
Нет, ну,
happening there. What do you mean you don't?
откровенная,
It's
такая
occupation,
непонятная.
just straight up.
Оккупация понятно.
Well,
это
occupation,
и ежу
yeah.
понятно, что это была
Everyone
оккупация. и
everyone
мы это
understands it was
понимали,
occupation.
и
We
все это
understood it.
понимали.
Everyone understood it.
Но вот
But
другие вопросы меня
other
до сих пор
questions I
интересуют.
still
Для
have.
чего нам это
Why
надо
we
было? Для
need
чего
that?
сейчас эта война
Why is this
происходит?
war
Я вот
happening
это-
now?
я до
I'm
сих пор
very
не понимаю.
confused.
Серьезно не
I
понимаю.
У меня
really
есть
don't.
на твой вопрос ответ.
Well, I have an answer to your
Но это
question,
лично мой.
but it's my answer.
Говорите, я
Okay,
выслушаю
please,
любое.
I'm
Смотри, как.
listening. Okay.
Ваше общество не знает,
Your-
что такое Украина.
Your society
Кто
doesn't
такие
know
украинцы.
what is Ukraine,
И вы никак
who are
никаким образом не
Ukrainians,
сталкивались с понятием
and you
Украина
never-
за последние 30 лет.
and you never learned that in the past 30 years.
Вы ничего не знаете об
You
Украине.
just don't know what is Ukraine.
Просто ничего.
Just nothing. You know
Что?
nothing about it.
Зря вы так.
Well, you
Давай я
shouldn't
тебе
say
приведу
that.
пример.
I'll
Я
give you an
всем
example.
этот пример
I'm giving
привожу.
this example to every
Вот у нас
Russian.
в школе и
In
в
our
высших учебных
school,
заведениях
And
есть два предмета.
and
История
university,
Украины
we
и
have
всемирная история.
we have two subjects: history of Ukraine and world history.
У вас тоже в школах и
You
в высших
also
заведениях
have
история Отечества, история
The basically your country history and the world
России.
history.
Помнишь, учил? И всемирная история. Так вот, у нас во
So,
всех учебниках
in
всемирной
all of the
истории, во
books
всех,
that we have, in
обязательно
all,
есть 1-2 параграфа.
in the world history books, definitely 1 or 2 paragraphs
Московское
about
княжество.
Moscow, Moscow, Tsardom,
Московское царство. Российская империя.
Russian
Советский
Empire,
Союз, Российская
Soviet Union, Russian
Федерация. С
Federation,
7 по 11 класс.
from 7th to 11th
У нас во
grade.
всех учебниках
We all
отдельный
have
параграф о России. То есть
special paragraphs about
украинские
Russia.
дети
So
знают,
Ukrainian
что есть такое
children
государство,
know that
Российская
Russia
Федерация.
exists,
Она своими корнями уходит в
that it has
Московское
roots
княжество. У
with
них есть общее
Moscow
представление о вашей стране.
Tsardom, and they have, or there's a thing before Tsardom, I just don't know the word. And we have an understanding about your
Начиная
country,
со школьной скамьи.
starting from the
Когда
school.
открываешь твой
When
учебник по
you
истории
open your
всемирной или по
history
истории
book,
Отечества, ты сам можешь
either
это проверить.
one, you can check it
У
yourself.
вас нету
There's
параграфа,
absolutely
посвященного
nothing
Украине. И
about
Белоруссии,
Ukraine,
кстати, тоже.
and Belarus
У
too,
вас
by the
нету
way. You
параграфа.
just
У
don't
вас есть
have that.
Польша,
You
у
have
вас есть там
Poland,
Франция,
you
у
have
вас есть все
France,
страны.
you have other
Отдельного
countries,
параграфа
but
по
there's
Украине
not
и
a single
Польше у вас
word on
нет вообще.
Ukraine and
У вас
Belarus.
Украина рассматривается
Ukraine
как
is
часть
basically as part
российской
of
истории
Russian
и как часть
history,
российской
as part of
территории.
Russian
И ваше
territory,
общество
and
на
your
уровне от
society on the
школьника и
level from the
выше
school,
даже не представляет,
Moscovian Duchy, yes, thank you,
что
doesn't
существует
even
отдельное
understand that a
государство
separate
Украина,
government
что
Ukraine
существует
exists,
отдельно
that
украинский народ,
separate
и
Ukrainian
они
people
имеют свою
exist, and that
историю.
they have their own history.
Вам рассказывают на
You're being told
телеканалах,
on
по радио, еще
news, on
что-то.
radio,
Вы слышите
whatever,
слово
you
Украина
hear the word
постоянно.
Ukraine
В Украине
constantly. In
нацисты, в
Ukraine,
Украине
you're
еще
Nazi, in
что-то.
Ukraine,
А
fucking
что
whatever.
такое
But
Украина?
what
Вы
is
понятия
Ukraine? You
не
have
имеете.
no idea.
Еще те, которые живут по границе с Украиной, Воронеж.
How about fuck the history and get the fuck out of Ukraine, bold bitch? Who are you talking to?
Область, Курская область, ну, которые имеют тесные контакты. По границе с Украиной. Воронежская область, Курская область.
So, well, I missed it. You fucking distracted me with... who are you talking to?
Есть в Украине еще что-то. А что такое Украина?
And what is
Вы
Ukraine?
понятия
You
не
have
имеете.
no idea.
Еще те, которые живут по
So,
границе с
and
Украиной.
people that are on the border with
Воронежская
Ukraine,
область, Курская
Voronezh,
область,
Kursk,
ну, которые имеют тесные контакты
people who
приграничные с Украиной.
are close to... No, because literally everyone on your fucking screen are fucking bald, and I don't know who the fuck you're talking about. If you're talking about this older gentleman, he's fucking based as fuck.
Они как бы понимают,
And this guy is just buzzcut, I don't know.
что такое Украина.
So those people understand
Но
what is
дальше уже
Ukraine.
где-то
But
Ярославль
further
и дальше
back,
на восток, не говоря
Yaroslavl
уже
and
о
go
твоем
farther
Краснодарском
east.
крае. Вообще
Let's
не
not talk about
представляете, что
Krasnodar.
такое
You
Украина.
don't understand what is Ukraine. You
Я
have
бы
no
так думаю,
conception.
это
Я об этом не думаю. Я
This
тебе
is,
факт
he says you shouldn't say that. I'm not just saying that. I'm giving you
привожу. Ты можешь их
facts.
проверить.
You can
И
check
зайти
them.
на сайт Кремлин.ру
Go
к
to
своему
your
президенту
Kremlin
и
website
почитать статью о том, что Украина
and read the article that
создал
Ukraine was created by Lenin.
а украинцы и
And
русские это один
Ukrainians and
народ.
Russians are the
Вот и
same
ваше
people. That's
представление об
your
Украине.
understanding of
Украину
Ukraine.
создал Ленин,
That
а мы
Ukraine
с
was
тобой
created by
один народ.
Lenin, and we're the same people with you.
Ну, народ-то
Well,
славянский.
it's Slavic people,
В Европе живет,
In
дорогой
Europe.
мой. Как тебя зовут?
my dear. What's your name?
Степан,
Степа, в
Stepan.
Европе живут 15
In
славянских
Europe, there's 15
народов. Ты
Slavic people nations. Did you know that?
ну у меня бабушка
Подожди.
украинка.
Well,
в
no, no, no,
Европе
no, no.
живут
Wait a second.
15
In Europe, there's
славянских народов. Ты
15
об этом
different
знаешь?
Slavic nations. Did you know about
Нет.
that?
Не
No.
знал, честно.
Русские,
Russians,
украинцы,
Ukrainians,
белорусы,
Belarus, Polacks,
чехи,
Czechs,
словаки,
Slovaks,
лужицкие сербы,
Serbians,
сербы, черногорцы,
Croatians,
македонцы,
Macedonians,
хорваты. И еще там,
Хорватс.
может, я кого-то
maybe Horvat is not something different.
забыл. И что?
What is happening? It's a lecture at this point. Yeah, this guy on the right is historian. He's fucking awesome. If you're talking shit about him, you're gonna get clapped, you fucking loser. That's funny.
Ну, 15 народов со своими
So 15 people,
языками,
15 different nations with their own
со своей
languages,
историей, со своими традициями.
with their own traditions, with their own histories, and
Ну, наши же отцы,
Well,
наши же
our
деды
fathers
воевали
and
против одного
grandfathers
Против
врага.
fought
нацизма. У нас был
one, yeah,
общий
against
враг, да,
Nazis.
нацизм.
Yeah, we
И
had
что?
one enemy,
И
Nazis. Yes,
поэтому мы
and that's
должны
why we need
сейчас не
to
воевать с
not
Российской
fight with
Федерацией.
Russia now, or what?
Да не то, что не воевать.
Well,
вообще, в
not
принципе,
fight,
для
just
чего эта война?
just
Ну, то
why
есть,
this
Я
war?
тебе
разумеется,
I'm
объяснил,
telling
для
you
чего.
why.
Я понимаю,
Yeah, I
опять же, как вы
understand,
мне объяснили, но не
again,
понимаю
but I
лично,
don't
ну, вот у
understand
меня личные
personally.
какие-то вот
I
такие вот,
personally
как бы
don't
сказать, порывы,
understand.
да, которые я не понимаю, для
I
чего
just
эта
don't
война.
understand
Идет
why this is
братоубийство. Ну, вот это
happening.
то
This
же
is brotherhood war.
самое, вот представьте, вот я
It's
вот,
the same
грубо говоря,
thing.
да, у
Это
меня
ты
есть
меня
вот,
Are
уговариваешь?
you trying to convince
Что ты
me?
мне уговариваешь?
Why are you trying to
Ты
convince me?
я
зайди
вас не
на сайт
уговариваю.
Go to the
Путина,
website,
почитай статью
Putin
об
website, read the
украинцах.
article about
Да тебе станет
Ukrainians,
Я
все
объясняю.
and you're
понятно.
going to understand
Это то же
everything.
самое, вот у меня есть друзья на Украине,
I
которые
have friends in
я называю
Ukraine
там братишка,
that
брат,
I
там,
call them bro.
да, звонки бывают, да.
This is fucking funny. The level of arguments. Okay, so from historical perspective, different nations. Yeah, but I have friends in Ukraine who are called bro. Oh, my bad. I guess we are brotherhood nations, huh? Well, if you're calling them bro, I guess. Whew.
В Украине, прошу прощения. Спрашиваю, да, там, как у
So
тебя
I'm
дела, как
asking
вы
them,
там
how you
живете, все ли у вас
doing, what's
хорошо, живы,
happening,
здоровы, самое главное, да, то есть он мне говорит, брат, да у меня все хорошо,
and they're
мы
saying,
спортсмены,
"Bro,
у
I'm
нас
good.
вообще
We're
нету
we're
нации,
sports guys.
вот у
We
меня
have no nation.
нету нации в принципе,
I don't have
понятия,
nation.
что
You
такое
know?
нация.
Что,
У меня есть
Are you serious?
Подожди,
Ну,
дорогой
Wait a
мой. А
second.
на
What do you
Олимпиаде,
mean?
когда
And on the
спортсмены
Olympics,
выступают, они
when they're sports guys on the
и чью
Olympics,
честь защищают?
what? Who are they? Whose honor they're protecting there?
Твою личную
Your
или
personal or
нации?
the nations?
знаете, очень много
Well, you
примеров,
know, a lot of
когда
examples
вот даже
when
есть пример,
There's an
когда
example where
когда это был
when
39-й
it
год,
was
или,
39
блин,
or
я не буду врать.
I don't
36-й.
remember. 36.
Олимпиада в
The
Берлине.
Olympics in Berlin,
Да,
right?
да,
Yeah,
36-й год,
yeah.
Олимпиада в Берлине,
36 in
когда,
Berlin
как они
when
там себя называли,
what they were
чистокровные арии,
called, pure
помог
Aryans or
чернокожему парню.
whatever, helped a
Помог,
Разве
black
потому
вы-
что
guy.
он был
Yeah, he
хороший
helped
человек.
because he was a good
Вот я про
guy.
что и говорю, что мне без разницы против кто
No, that's
против
what I'm
меня
saying.
там
I don't
стоит,
care
да.
who's
В первую
against me.
Тебе без разницы. Ага.
Okay, you don't
Расскажи
care.
мне.
Okay,
Тебе
tell
без
me.
разницы.
You don't care.
Это ти так думаєш, це
That's
ти,
what you
ти
think.
думаєш тільки тому, що в тебе бабуся українка, і
You
тебе
think that way only because you have a grandma who's Ukrainian.
хоч якісь
And you have
сентименти
some
щодо
sentiments
України
in
є.
your
Ну,
head
тільки через
about the
бабусю.
Ukraine,
І
only
тільки через
because
оце, ну,
only
спортивні
because of your
зв'язки,
grandma,
які він
because
був
of
на
your
території України.
because of your friends, and that's
Все.
it. That's it.
А суспільство
You have
твоє, як
no
не знало, що
understanding
таке
of
Україна,
your
так і не знає, і знати не
society.
хоче.
They don't know and they don't want to know. Okay. Okay. It's the historian guy talks to different people. It's random people always. His goal is not to convince them that the war is bad. His goal is to show that they have no fucking clue what they're talking about in regards to Ukraine. Russian propaganda is filled with notions about Ukrainian history, about the Ukrainian language, Ukrainian nation, Ukrainian borders, Kiev Rus, they're saying it's theirs. He's there to debunk all of that, and he makes them look stupid as fuck, okay? He's a fucking historian. He gives everyone a history lesson. But that's why it's so interesting, because he actually knows what he's talking about. And for me personally, why it's interesting, because he educates me on my history as well in a very entertaining manner. This was maybe not the perfect example of that. He has other videos where he talks. It's very hard to talk with somebody who understands that you are way more educated on a subject than he is. A lot of them just skip as soon as they're getting their asses handed over to them. But I really like that he's super like calm and pretentious about it. That's really fun. But he has a lot of other videos where they talk about Bandera, for example, where they talk about Ukrainian history, Ukrainian borders, when Ukrainian language started its conception, existence, how the nation started forming. Like, I'll give you an example. One of the very interesting things that I discovered because of this guy is when Russians were saying, when was Ukrainian nation formed? And he says, all nations were formed after industrialization, okay? They weren't any fucking nations in fucking billion years ago. They all formed after industrialization because that gave the possibility for people to cooperate on bigger, vaster differences. And smaller amounts of like tribes, basically, or like small kingdoms within the countries had the possibility for the first time in history to cooperate on much bigger scale, and nations started to form. And Russian nation, Ukrainian nation, German, whatever. You say pretentious, you mean patient. I mean both. He is patient, but he knows more than them, and he is like laughing when they say some fucking dumbass shit. Yeah, and he simply operates by facts. When they started talking about, like, it's so easy to see the difference in intelligence when people are like, what are you talking about? About whatever. Give me a subject. Like those stupid fucking bitches. He says, give me at least one example of Ukrainian government lying to Ukrainian people. I mean, just in general. She couldn't just say that. She just couldn't say that. Pedantic? I don't know. Whatever. Maybe pedantic patient. I don't know. I also like that he just hands their asses to them because he's fucking. Oh, okay, my bad. I used the word incorrectly. Well, it's not pretensions then. What I mean is he like he knows that he knows more than them, and he's like very like offhand with what they're saying because they're never saying anything. Not a single guy in his video said anything intellectual whatsoever. And even this guy, like, yeah, he says, I don't understand why this war is happening. But at the same time, he was occupying Crimea. He constantly falls on sentiments. He falls on his grandma, on his friends. But he doesn't understand, like he should understand why his society supports this, why his country, he should understand that. He should be against that. When he's just like, oh, I don't get what's going on, he's no better than any other Russian that is just like, it doesn't concern me. And he's really like, he's not only like historian from back in the time, he also really knows what was happening in the past like 8 years, and he's very well read, and he knows the dates, he knows exactly what's happening, and they just can't catch him on anything. It's fucking fantastic. It's like, I don't know, he debates grown people. He's not even debating them because it's like absolutely not fair. His knowledge is fucking crazy. Like, not every historian knows that much. He's so easy to pull those facts, but I guess, again, these motherfuckers talk about the same shit over and over again. So he's like, he knows before they're gonna say it. But they constantly talk about like, oh, when did the word Ukraine came to be? And he's like, okay, it was 1200s. In 1200s, the first use of the word Ukraine was used. Back at the time, historians don't really know what it meant. It could mean the land, it could mean near land or something like that. But it was used in describing this, the latest thing that we have. Like, and he says it's fucking like boom, 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 boom. You know, he's like, oh. He never says like when they're asking some degenerate shit like, what is your opinion? And he says, I don't give opinions. Okay, you ask me about a specific thing, I'll tell you. That's admirable to me. It's more a lecture than a debate. Yeah, sure. It's fucking interesting though. But it's very important. Like, I never liked history because I felt like, okay, if you're looking back at history constantly, then you're a fucking moron and a loser, okay? Time to look forward. And however, when propaganda and these degenerate, I still feel like I'm correct at that. But on the government level, when they look back into the history, they're using history as our weapon to subjugate you. And if you don't know the history, they will be successful in it. And I think for that purpose, you need to know history of your own country. So that people wouldn't, confuse the fuck out of you. Because let's be honest, history is boring. If somebody says you that something probably happened, you're like, yeah, it's probably happened. I'm too lazy to fucking read upon that. But you may not even notice when history is being used against you. Oh, also, remember I fucked up about Bandera? Bandera was 2 times in jail. So first, he was captured by Polish people, and he was in jail by 1939. And then war started. He was captured by Germans, and he spent the war in German camp. And then he escaped. So when people say that Bandera was fighting with Nazis in World War II, he was in prison. So I would be fearful to raise resentment. Bro, you shouldn't give a fuck if a Russian resents you. It's like imagine your spouse beat your fucking ass, and then you're like, well, I want to be careful around that person not to upset their feelings. Excuse me? Do you not understand what's kind of happening here?
Bandera and Stoltenberg founded NATO to destroy Russia.
Yeah, they always say like, what about Bandera statues you have in Ukraine? And he's like, well, you have statues to fucking Stalin and fucking how many people he fucking killed. Like, there's literally every country has a statue to some guy who killed a lot of people. But it's not about what he did, it's in the name of what. And Bandera personally didn't kill anyone. Well, didn't do any genocides. Endure. That's like, I like his style of argumentation too, because he like bites the bullets, like very quickly, and I just love that. You have statues for Bandera. Yes, we have statues for Bandera. You have statues for other despicable people too, Am I questioning your statues? I don't give a fuck. You can put anyone's statues you want in your fucking country. We can do the same. He was a Nazi. He wasn't a Nazi. Why do you say he was a Nazi, right? And then they just go from there and they have nothing to say. Russian imperialism goes deep in history, and they would need a very hardcore re-education in their country. Education on the real history, education about other countries, full demilitarization and denuclearization too. Like, it would be a long fucking process, but I'm sure we'll get there, step by step. Let's watch some memes. I want to chill a little bit. I don't know. Did you like that video or you didn't like that video? I enjoyed translating it. It was fairly simple. They speak in very colloquial terms, so it's much easier to translate. So maybe I'll do it one more again later. What the fuck are they doing? What?
Went off. Okay. Alrighty.
กินพ่อซ้ำนี่บ่ชีวิตเกิดมากมันจังได
味見をすると
久しぶりのおいしさ。
There you go, mate. That all good? Yeah. Cheers. Nice
Cheers,
one.
mate.
Thanks.
Rookie mistake. Jesus. Bro, he threw that shit like a human. What the fuck is going on? The rise of the planet of the polar bears. Oh!
Mr. Bombastic, Bomba Fantastic.
Incidents of cannibalism.
Ah! There's no window?
Смотри, 3 шара.
Блядь, ты ёбаный.
I woke up
Ты
in...
ебанутый.
Is that a Biden fall? Why? Yo, I need that for my PC, dude, to dust it.
Собака там внутри. She's got a spit out the boot again.
Yeah, I tell him come and St. Tina people, but him love St. Thomas. Yeah, him nah come down there.
You ready? Go.
Yo, does anybody else want my my leftover sandwich? Anybody want? Oh.
What the fuck? Tom and Jerry?
Mr. Bombastic, Bomba Fantastic.
Full Yale course on history of Ukraine in one fucking video? How many fucking hours is this shit? 46 minutes. I don't believe it. It's not enough to fit. I'll watch it. Thank you. Oh, should we watch it? Oh, it's class 1. There's 23 classes. Oh, I see. I'll watch it. Why? Whatever. I would love to see that guy explain it to me.
This is an emergency.
Eenmaal oprecht was je echt...
What is it doing?
Another day has gone. Let's go, big boy!
Turn down the EQ.
Нихуя себе. Нихуя себе. Нихуя себе. Нихуя.
Look at that happy boy.
Attention. Kebab maison.
I hit it too hard, dude. Oh, that's fucking funny, dude.
Kebab maison.
Fucking shit flew everywhere.
Bro, 2018.
Hey, you guys want to see this cool trick I taught my dog? Sure. Alright. Set. Bang! 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 Hey, Siege, have you seen...
Quiero mandar un saludo a
Yes, very interesting. Where's Andrew Tate? Oh, I think he's going against Red Pill now, so people stopped giving a fuck about him. I don't know.
So
Okay.
don't even worry about that, okay?
Okay. I was just saying that it's just not true. It's cap, to be honest. But
It's cap. Oh no, what's happened to him? It's cold. The floor is cold. Alright, boys. Gonna be it for today. Thanks for tuning in. We had a great stream, 3.5 hours. Easy clap like that. Tune in tomorrow for more drones hitting Moscow and other regions. Support me, subscribe, follow the channels, join Discord, and subscribe to my Patreon. Jesus fucking Christ, guys. I say that every fucking... There's a link. I say that every stream. Literally nobody subscribes, dude. I actually post there. What the fuck is